right, we're back on. You're watching part two of what was supposed to be a one stream hangout, but we got cut off. So here we are again, guys. We're gonna continue to hang out and just continue to give some more value. So we got cut off, but again, how do we perceive this scenario that just happened? We're gonna take it a negative slump, turn it into raw, straight, powerful energy, and continue what we started. All right. So Jermaine, if you want to go ahead and jump into what you were speaking of, and then what we're gonna do, because this seems like it's gonna be new information to us. I kind of want to hear what you have to say. The people who are watching, you guys pay attention. This guy knows what he's talking about. Take notes. I got my pen. I got my paper. Always. Let's go, bro.
All right. The first thing I want to say is life tried to you just tried to kick our butt, but it didn't work. We're still here. We're still doing the hangout. And I want to drop a little nugget before I get into the big stuff. Commitment. Be committed. And commitment is being 100% loyal to what you said you were going to do long after the feeling you said it has left. You know? So, yeah, you know, Carl could have easily said, you know what, I'm done with this hangout. Nah, we persevere. We keep going. We keep fighting. I think it was Les Brown that said, you know, life may knock you down. And if it knocks you on your back, you can look up. You can get up. As long as you can see where you're going, you're able to keep moving. So, what I'm about to talk to you guys is big. I mean, really, really big. I'm trying to amp it up in your mind as to how big it is, because if you can really tap into the power of what I'm saying, your life will never be the same. Now, that doesn't mean that you're always going to implement it, but I'm hoping that these seeds will go so deep in you, it'll have so much roots. I like the way my older Jewish brother Jesus said it. He said, you can't put new wine into old wineskins. So I'm about to give you guys a completely new wineskin, a completely new way of dealing with life, with just emotions, ups and downs, and it's just going to change your life, I guarantee you. But you're going to have to get comfortable knowing yourself. It's an age-old saying, you know thyself kind of deal. And what that implies is internal university. Some of you guys do not spend enough time at internal university studying yourself, so you don't know where to begin. However, I'm about to help you. So again, if you let this opportunity, if you let this new information change your life, it will, okay? So I just want to touch on one more thing. I was supposed to say, I wrote it down as a note. I believe Carl was speaking. He said he was talking about being grateful. It starts with knowing what you have, guys. And, you know, there's a saying that says, I used to be jealous because I had no shoes until I saw the man who had no feet, you know? And it'll completely change your life. First of all, realize that realize what you have, because gratitude is, I like to say gratitude is in the beginning of joy. You know, I think there's a verse in the Bible that says, the joy of the Lord is your strength. No joy, no strength. You're not powerful. And like I was saying before, joy empowers you. If you don't have any joy, you're pretty much at your weakest, right? So you're going to want to basically sit up. I'm going to talk about some powerful things. Just sit back, relax, let it marinate in your souls, let these new seeds be formed, and I'm about to try and blow through this information, but I want to make sure that you get it. So I want you guys to know, like I said, joy, right, is the natural state. It's the natural state of people, right? Babies are born happy. You're supposed to be happy. When life is on top of you, that's when that's when you lose your confidence and stuff. So I want you guys to write this down. I'm going to tell you what to write down. I want you to write down that your emotions are action signals. Okay? Your emotions are action signals. And I'm so excited about this information, guys, because I'm giving you the keys to life. If you're still on this hangout, you're a warrior. You're powerful. Or if you just happen to stumble on part 2, you know, go ahead and watch part 1. But this is where the gold's at, guys. Okay? So write down that basically your emotions are action signals, and there's about 10 categories that your emotions fall into. Okay? I'm going to do the categories in chronological order, and it is a lot of information. So I want you guys to bear with me and pay attention closely to what I'm saying, okay? If you guys on the panel, if I'm going too fast, slow me down, okay? If you don't understand or you have a question, make sure you ask me, because I want to present the entire picture, okay? So I want you guys to write this down. Write down these 10 categories. Carl, can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, cool. The first category is uncomfortable, and I want you guys to leave some space in between every category. So the first category is uncomfortable. Write down the word. The second category is fear. The third category is hurt. The fourth category is anger. The fifth category is frustration. The sixth category is disappointment. The seventh category is guilt. The eighth category is basically feelings of inadequacy, feeling less than, unworthy, however you want to word that, unworthiness, I guess. The ninth category is overloaded, and the 10th category is lonely. Now this is where it gets fun, because life will try to ultimately kick your butt, and I'm going to teach you how I've been kicking life's butt whenever I'm down. This is really, really precious to me, guys. It's really, really dear to my heart, so I want you guys to win. All right, this is some of my best stuff. Some of my team members, my directly sponsored, don't even know this stuff, and I'm just sharing it with you guys because it's totally appropriate, right? I just wish Lauren was on the panel. Carl, send her the link. Okay, so let's start with the first one. All right, now obviously there's variations of these categories, but you could try to fit most emotions in here. So let's talk about being uncomfortable. Uncomfortable emotions, they're your emotions like boredom, impatience, distress, embarrassment. And basically, whenever you're faced with this, remember how I said emotions are action signals, and they're either good or bad. They just kind of tell you, like when you're driving a car and you hear, you're either too far to the left or too far to the right. So basically, it's just saying stay in the middle of the lane. The middle of the lane is joy, and when you are feeling these emotions, it's just an action signal. So basically, the message for uncomfortable is basically you need to change your state. Now, what state? If I'm slumped over right now, linked to this physiology is depression. So I will change my state. I will sit up, right? I will get clear on exactly what I want, and I'll take action in the direction of what I want. So basically, whenever you're uncomfortable, it's basically saying you're unclear on what you want, right? So basically, what all of these categories that I'm going to give you, what the information you need to take in is, do I need to change my perception or do I need to change my procedure, right? Because if you're standing in line and you're getting impatient and you're like, oh man, why is this line moving so slow? Uncomfortable emotions, they just tend to bug you. They're not harmful, but they really get on your nerves. And so basically, what you're going to want to do is you're going to change your state and say, okay, do I change my perception or my procedure? I could say, this is a wonderful opportunity to prospect. All of a sudden, since I represented, since I represented the information that was going on, that I was taking in at the time, in a way that empowers me, that uncomfortability disappears, and I'm back in peak state. I'm back in joy. It's going to get better as we go down the line, guys. But before I present the rest of the information, who understood that? Can you guys hear me?
I got you so far.
Okay, cool. Let's breeze through it. Let's talk about fear. Fear, people say, fear is so negative. Oh, I hate the feeling of fear. Fear is wonderful. I'm going to say it again. Fear is wonderful. Now, I'm not talking about embodying those emotions and carrying fear around. You're not to harbor these emotions around, but you're supposed to appreciate the signal that it brings to you. Let's talk about the message of fear. What fear says is we need to prepare ourselves to deal with a situation that could possibly happen. A potential situation that could arise. We just need to get prepared. What a valuable message. Think about it, guys. If something is about to happen and you're not ready for it, and you start feeling fear, and you choose to interpret that fear as, yeah, I need to get prepared, let me tell you what happens. First of all, you're going to be able to deal with the situation and kick life's butt. Second of all, you're going to be back in peak state, because the minute that you're prepared, you're ready. You're ready to fight. So what would go into the category of fear is emotions like concern, apprehensions, worry, anxiety, even being terrified, right? Those categories, those emotions go into this category. And with each category that I give you, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to say, okay, what am I feeling right now? And where does it fit in? Because, again, each has a signal. Each has a message. And if you know what the message is and you know what you're feeling, you'll be able to beat it. You'll be able to pop back in the peak state at any given moment that you recognize it, if you choose to recognize it, right? So let's talk about, let's just recap real quick. So when you're uncomfortable, you change your state, you get clear on you want, you take action in that direction. When you're feeling fear, you need to prepare. You need to prepare so that event or situation, if it does hit, you will be able to handle it in your most prepared state, in your most comfortable state. The next category is hurt. Now, hurt is it's a tricky one. Basically, it implies a sense of loss. Okay, and the message that hurt brings to you is an expectation that you have is not being met, right? You might have a sense of loss because you told somebody something and it was supposed to be in confidence, and then they told someone else, and you felt like you lost trust. You lost intimacy. You lost that, quality relationship with that person. And basically, how you deal with fear is basically you communicate. I mean, not fear, hurt. You communicate that hurt, and the minute you communicate it, what happens is that burden's released, right? Because once you be able to tell the person, okay, this is what I felt like I lost something, you're able to communicate and get it back. You go back into joy. You go back into the default state, peak state. But on the flip side of hurt, you need to ask yourself something. Did I really lose anything? Because I saw this from one of the leaders on our team before. He said, not everything you lose is a loss. So, like I said, that's why I said it's a tricky one. You need to understand, I might not have lost anything. Sometimes you lose something and you gain something by losing something. What happens if you lose dead weight? You know what I'm saying? All of a sudden, that's weight. Why are you trying to get the weight back? Let it go. Let the baggage go. Sometimes when it gets too tough to carry, you should just throw it over a cliff, right? So hurt, sense of loss, the message is basically your expectations not being met. Communicate your expectation and you should be able to deal with it. The next category number 4, is anger. This one is an outgrowth of hurt, okay? And basically that implies that a rule or standard that you have is being violated. It's a little similar to hurt, but it's not. The thing is, standards are rules that we have for ourselves. And the first thing, just like asking yourself, did I really lose anything? Not everything I lose is a loss. You have to ask yourself, is this standard really appropriate? Because sometimes we have these really ridiculous standards for ourselves and other people. And remember, just because they're your standards doesn't mean it's somebody else's. We might get furious when somebody does something, and furious can go under the category of anger, right? But you have to really, really ask yourself, is this standard really worth having? Some standards, they're good standards, but they disempower you. An example, I don't know, expecting that everyone should be positive all the time. So you might get mad at someone because they're not positive, but you are. But remember, that's your standard, not theirs. So sometimes you should take it as, I'm going to be positive all the time, and I'm going to penetrate the world instead of being penetrated by it, right? Throw that standard away, guys. If you expect, good from everyone, now expect it. Why? Because you attract it. But what I'm saying is, if you don't always get it, don't be discouraged. Sometimes these standards that we have for ourselves, like I said, they'll disempower us if we don't have, the right standards. I'm going to keep moving. Frustration. I love this one, because this used to be something that I used to feel all the time. And frustration, whenever you feel that, it means that basically you feel hindered in pursuit of something. You feel like you're held back. And the message is, you need to change your approach to achieving your goal. It's very, very simple. If you're frustrated, it means you just simply need to change the way that you're doing something, right? So I'll give you an example. With women, right? So, nothing against women, but sometimes they might walk into a room and they might see their husband, I don't know, reading the newspaper, and the husband used to jump for joy every time they saw them. They might get frustrated or even sad, right? Or hurt. They might feel that sense of loss, like, what's going on here? And they can easily get discouraged, but they can just choose an interpretation that empowers them. Do they change their perception or their procedure? They can change both. Look, let me show you. The woman might say, okay, I see how he may have not just seen me. He might have just not noticed that I walked in. Maybe he's so wrapped up in what he's doing. Let's relate it to us entrepreneurs. Maybe he's working on his business and he just didn't notice I came in the room. By changing the interpretation of what's going on, we're able to empower ourselves. right? But let's talk about frustration, right? Let's talk about changing the procedure. Let's say, instead of getting mad or frustrated, we just communicate it. Hey, honey, I walked into the room and I just wanted you to notice me, right? I really need to spend some time with you. And what if the person says, oh, I just spent time with you. Woman, are you crazy? Then she can get mad and frustrated even more, or she can change her procedure. And she could say something like, yeah, you're right. You did spend time with me, but I need a little bit extra right now, only in the way that you can give. And if that would calm me down, I wouldn't, go off on someone who said something like that to me. And by changing the procedure, this what this one implies, guys. Frustration. It implies responsibility. It implies basically by taking 100% ownership, by taking 100% control of these situations and changing your approach. If something doesn't work, you just hit it from a different angle. If that doesn't work, you find another angle until you get the desired result that you want. But you take the approach that empowers you. Who's following me so far?
I'm following. I'm taking notes.
I'm with it. I'm with it.
Same here.
So the next category number 6, if you guys are wondering, is disappointment. This is another strange category, and this one's a tricky one too, and you have to be careful of it. Disappointment can be, it stems off from sadness, which is different from hurt. It has nothing to do with a sense of loss. More so, the message of disappointment comes from, hey, Lauren's back. More so, the message of disappointment comes from basically, you need to change your expectation and come up with something a little more appropriate, a more appropriate outcome. So sometimes we might get sad or disappointed because we expected someone to do something for us, and we expected it in this amount of time, and they took this amount of time. So, you know what I'm saying? Maybe we need to change our perception in a way that empowers us. We shouldn't expect so much in so little time. Sometimes we get sad or disappointed with ourselves because we thought that we were gonna make this much, but this week we only made this much. It's okay. It's okay. What you do is you come up with a more appropriate outcome, right? You revisit the situation. You change your perception, okay? And usually, again, when you change your perception and it's more obtainable, you're able to obtain it, and boom, you pop back in the peak state. You pop back into joy, and it's like you never left. State number 7, right? Or category number 7, guilt or regret, It's the same thing. And basically, the message for guilt, remember, these are all action signals. Anytime you're feeling these signals, it just means, look, you're not in joy right now. You're not empowered right now. You need to get back in the middle of the lane, right? You're bumping on the side. You're about to cross lanes. So what you do with guilt, what it means is the message is you violated one of your own standards, right? And all you need to do with guilt is you just need to put in place some kind of system, some kind of regimen to make sure that you never violate your standards again. And once that's in place, right? Once you know this is never gonna happen again, you go back. This one, you might take you a little while, but you'll ease back into joy. You'll ease back into being comfortable, to being in peak state, and it'll help you identify the things in your life that are not right, right? We need to be doers of our own words, and that will help. When you break a promise, you usually feel guilty or you feel like crap, or when you said someone, oh, I'll send you the video and you didn't do it, and you can sense their disappointment, we feel guilty. This is how you deal with it. Just make the situation right. And this is why we have to be accountable to our own consciences. Number 8, feelings of inadequacy. This one, and me and this one, we go head to head, and I destroy this one. This one's easy for me to overcome. And another word for inadequacy is feeling less than or feeling unworthy, okay? And the message is, this is literally the message. Get excited. You need to do something to be better in that area. So sometimes, first of all, just like with hurt, did I really lose anything, right? Just like anger, are my standards, are they really worth having? This one's a tricky one. Are you really inadequate? Before you even try to deal with this one, ask yourself, am I really inadequate? Sometimes I'll wake up out of bed, and sometimes you just have those bad mornings where you just, you didn't sleep well, and you just feel like crap. What do you do about that? You ask yourself, am I really inadequate? oh, Jermaine, are you really even a good marketer? These things to start hitting you. And then I say, hold on, inadequacy. I'm Jermaine Taylor. I got a $10,000 check on stage. Every time I speak, somebody somewhere somehow was inspired. I have amazing relationships with people. I have nuggets galore. I make amazing videos. And you just hit you hit inadequacy. You throw jabs and jabs of all your accomplishments at it. You can do that. Sometimes, inadequacy will come like, oh, Carl, elevated minds, they're not here to support you. And you're like, hold on, I just did a hangout yesterday, and everybody who mattered came. Come on. You know what I'm talking about, guys. This one will try to, it'll try to pin you down. You got to wrestle with this one. And the way you do it is you throw your accomplishments at it. You throw every last one of you has something that you've accomplished. Every last one of you has something you can be proud of. That's how you deal with inadequacy in its early stages. But let's just say you really, really do feel inadequate, right? And you realize that you are. Remember what I said it means. Get excited. Why? Because it's an opportunity for you to grow. You need to do something to get better in that area. So if you feel horrible because you don't know how to prospect, you feel inadequate, go prospect. Go practice, right? If you're a singer and you feel like your voice isn't all that great, you feel like you're not Beyonce, then go sing. Go start singing. And sing until you're comfortable. And as you're comfortable, what will happen is your self-esteem returns. And boom, that inadequacy disappears. You pop right back into that joyous state. This is helping somebody. Let me know if it's helping you guys.
You killing it right now.
I'm feeling that.
All right. It's almost done, guys. Number 9. I'm going to call this one overloaded. I'm not going to call it depressed because sometimes we tend to treat things a little more seriously than they actually are, right? So when you're feeling overwhelmed, right, feelings of hopelessness or depression, basically anything along that lines, the message is you need to reevaluate what's important to you in that particular situation and ask yourself what's necessity and what's desire, okay? Because sometimes whenever we feel overloaded, think about this. Imagine the guy, who can only lift a ton, but the moment, I know you guys seen the cartoons, the moment that little feather, plops down on the ton, all of a sudden everything comes crashing down because it's only meant to hold a ton, and that's okay, right? We're not supposed to bench 300 before we can bench 50. So how you deal with this depression or overload, just call it overload. You write down all the things that are most important to you in a situation. Every last one of them. What? Because if you don't understand the action signals, if you don't understand why you're feeling this way, if you don't understand what you're battling with, you can't even battle it. You'll lose every time, right? So write down what's important to you in that situation. Put them in order of priority. What's the most important out of this list? What's desire? What's just a want? And what's necessity? What's really, really important to me? And pick the first one on the list and do something about it. Why? Because once you're overloaded, and basically what happens is, the minute you pick something and do something about it, you're like, yeah, I just handled it. I can handle this. Your self-esteem grows when you take advantage of your situations instead of your situations taking advantage of you. I'm going to say it again. Your self-esteem grows when you take advantage of your situations instead of your situations taking advantage of you. So once you find out, okay, yeah, I really am, I have this list. This is what's overwhelming me. I'm going to deal with this one. The minute you deal with the first one, you're like, I can handle it. You pop your chest up high again automatically. You feel better because you conquered something, because you're a champion, because you really could do it all along, because you wasn't really overwhelmed. You just, things accumulated a little bit and you dealt with it. The last one, guys, number 10 is loneliness. And this is one of my favorites to address right now because sometimes, oh, well, let's talk about the message for loneliness first. Loneliness, or it makes you feel separate from. It makes you feel separate from. So the message is we need a connection. Now, sometimes, as guys, we think, oh, we need an intimate connection. No, not always. Doesn't always mean that. Sometimes we just need to talk to somebody. Sometimes you need someone to laugh with. Sometimes you just need to get a dog, right? Or sometimes you get to join, an amazing community just like this, where everyone is bouncing off of anyone, and because if our energy starts off low, slowly but surely we start connecting, we start getting excited, we start building each other up, and then all of a sudden we're back to where we usually are. I don't know if you guys can tell, but I'm amped up right now. And so the message is connection. You need to identify what kind of connection you need, and again, with every last one of these states. Every last one of these categories, I'm going to go over them real quick. Uncomfortable, fear, hurt, anger, frustration, disappointment, guilt, inadequacy, overload, and loneliness. Just decide, what am I feeling right now? What am I feeling right now? And which category does it most go in? So I feel like crap today. Oh, let's talk about procrastination, because procrastination isn't necessarily emotion, but we certainly feel it, don't we? So let's see. Why am I procrastinating? Do I feel lonely? No. Because my upline just talked to me yesterday. Am I disappointed in myself? Am I defeated? No, I'm not. But am I frustrated? Yes, I need to change my approach. Boom. Now I know what to do. I'm back in the peak state. Or basically, maybe it wasn't frustration. Am I angry? Did something anger me yesterday? Did I get mad at a prospect? Did that slow me down? Maybe that's not it. Maybe I'm afraid of something. Maybe I need to prepare, right? Maybe I need to prepare myself. Maybe I should go watch a training video. And the minute you feel equipped, boom, you see, you pop back in the peak state. You pop back in the joy. Guys, this is how people wonder, Jermaine, why are you so happy? It's because I've learned to kick life's butt with this system. I'm telling you guys, this is some of my best stuff. I'm holding nothing back. I've learned in a situation, based on all of these categories, I identify what I'm feeling, and I ask myself, do I change my perception or do I change my procedure? Procedure just means, do I change my approach or do I change the way that I'm looking at it? And once I realize exactly what I'm feeling and where I'm at, and I decide what to do about it, and the minute that I execute it, all of a sudden, guys, I'm empowered again. All of a sudden, my little muscles start showing themselves. I feel powerful, and I'm able to empower others.
Wow. I got a
nuggets, not even nuggets. Those are bombs, like you said.
We already knew that was coming.
Real powerful, man. I got so much notes right now. My fingers is going 1,000 miles an hour.
I wanted to touch on something, and I want you guys to see if I picked up what you guys picked up from this. All of these emotional action signals are things that we can become aware of. Not only become aware of, but we have the ability to then fix it. You know, like Jermaine was saying, if we're riding on the road and then we start steering left, boom, you hit disappointment. You know what to fix. You know what to focus on to get back on track. Then you go way too far right. Now you're frustrated. Okay, what I need to focus on? What feeling am I feeling to focus and get back on track? I love this. I love this stuff because this is not broken down the way I thought it was going to be broken down. I mean, this is amazing. We all feel these emotions. We all go through them. We're business owners. You have it in life. But your perception of how you see it, and again, he said perception versus procedure. Understanding which emotion it is, understanding what scenario you're going through. It's so beautiful to know that we control our feelings, how you're feeling right now. And just... I'm looking down at my notes, talking back and forth. I didn't really want to show it too much, but for the most part, the one thing that stuck out to me the most out of all of this was that feeling of guilt. Because I can deal with fear. I know that it's fake. I can deal with frustration. I know where to go to fix that. I can deal with being lonely. I can just go talk to somebody if I'm feeling like I need more energy. But it's the guilt of not getting something done. It's the guilt of not reaching a certain milestone. It's the guilt of not being able to do what I wanted to do that is overwhelming. And I'm going to fix it. So if you guys picked up anything from this, I'm a learner. You know, you learn, you apply, and then you teach. Understand that this information right here is going to go out to so many people. It's going to help so many people. Hold on, let me send you this real quick. It's going to help so many people because I took a lot of notes myself, and I want to know where you got it from. So we're going to talk about after. So I need to. We're going to talk about this after. But for the most part, what stuck out to me the most was really that emotional guilt of not achieving what you wanted to achieve, and it's okay. We're human beings. Now that you know what it is that you're stuck on, that's holding you back, that's hindering you, what can we do to fix it? How are you gonna calm your nerves down and refocus and then get it handled? Because at the end of the day, if there's if you have an exam, okay, and the teacher gives you the opportunity to retake the exam that you just did not so well on. You just gave me the answers to it. We had an open book, we have an open book result thing. I remember I did that in school all the time. We'll take a quiz, then you tell me what the answers were, and then tomorrow I get a chance to come back and fix it. Guess what I'm doing all night long? I'm in the books, I'm studying, I'm trying to feel what emotion I felt when I answered that question. What did I do wrong? And then guess what? Next day, bang, got it in the bag. Same thing, same principles. If you guys can understand that analogy towards it, that's what I picked up.
Jermaine, thanks a lot because, like Carl just said, that you could get past everything else, but it's that guilt. What do you do to get past that guilt? And you really have to see, what you said when you said with the guilt, you have to see what standard that you violated, your own standard that you violated. Because at the end of the day, that's where the guilt comes from.
Which one of your
you're supposed to do something, but you didn't do it, so you feel bad. Especially when you gotta do something for somebody. When you give somebody your word and you didn't go to follow through with your word, or you didn't do it the right way, you violated the standard. Me personally, I know that's a standard. I keep my word. When I say I'm going to do it, I am going to do it. It doesn't matter how I get it done. I will find a way to get it done. It's all within your mind and what you do to get past these things, people. And, Jermaine just gave you 10 categories of emotions and feelings and stuff that happen on your day-to-day life, that, this is how you get past it, basically. This is what you need, Thanks, bro.
That was really good stuff, and I kind of want to pick up on it because that really, when you have standards, and one of my standards is always showing up for something so as simple as my daily personal development. And if I miss that, what it does later is I'm thinking so much of it. I'm guilty. It's like a guilty conscience. It's so true. And now that I see it, it's like, okay, that makes so much sense. You can't break your rules and expect positive results. You just broke your rules. Well, you're going to get a little bit of backlash, but you can always revamp and get back on your feet, get back on track, and continue to look forward to where you were trying to head in the first place. So if anybody wanted to add anything that they got from that, or Jermaine, that was really, really powerful stuff, man. I see why you were talking about, well, I need to get this out. It's really powerful stuff.
Anything to help, man.
I also wanted to add something too, in terms of you were talking about needs and wants. I feel like God will never ever leave us without what we need. It's always what we want that we always try to get more of, but we'll never have less than we need to be good, to be okay, because at the end of the day, we're safe. Hold on. Thought that was. We're safe. We're good. We can always just remember that. Hey, whenever at the end of the day, when I can't say the word, but when stuff hits the fan, everything is good, because we can always remember that we'll have what we need. And when you understand, and again, that goes back to being grateful. When you have what you need, then you're at ease. It's how we perceive it. It's how we feel, and how we feel goes a long ways into how we deal with certain situations too. If you're frustrated, don't feel any of these ways when you're talking to somebody about business. Don't do it. You're just gonna pass that energy on to the next person. If you're feeling frustrated, get unfrustrated first. If you're angry, you're hurt, if you're scared, if you don't even believe in what it is that you're talking to your business partner, your prospect about, your teammate, your upline, you have to get back to being at a neutral zone, that joy, that Zen mode, before you can step into any room, go to any job interview, go apply for anything. you want to position yourself mentally, because people feel this. We're human beings and we radiate energy. So if somebody's feeling inadequate, they feel like, oh, I don't know if I can do it. Well, all you're doing is you're giving out so much energy to the people around you that they're like, yeah, I don't think you can do it either. Cut. Yeah, you're trying to make a basketball team, and the whole time the coach is asking you, how do you feel about the season, and you're just like, man, coach, I don't know. We didn't do too well last season, and you're riding that bench because you're already showing that you feel some type of way, and you're not really working towards trying to stay focused and getting back on track. So just these are, I just want to learn some more. Tell you the truth, I'm gonna go like dig deeper into this, because all of these different points, they were so powerful. Being uncomfortable, fearful, hurt, anger, frustration, disappointment, guilty of all this stuff, and then you feel inadequate, overloaded, and lonely. Yo, if this is not a big ball of depression and you need to fix it fast, I don't know what is. Right here is just, if somebody's feeling all of these or two of these at the same time, you need to go fix it. And you know how to fix it. Get back to you. Get back to whatever it is that brings you up. If it's music, guys, yo, when I'm down, I bump music. And it's the instrumentals that get me, actually. I bump positive music. The instrumentals wake me up. So that energy just flows through me, and it flows out, and then I'm back at it. So if you know what it is that you can fix, simply just go ahead and work on fixing it. Okay, 2 + 2 = 4, right? If somebody were to tell you, okay, 2 + 2 = 5, you're gonna be like, no, we need to fix your thought process, bro. So, because you don't know what you're talking about. It clearly equals 4, and I know that it equals 4, so I'm gonna help you understand that it equals 4. So if we feel a certain way, and we know we can help somebody feel better because we just learned some good stuff, we can share this information with them. This was shared to me. I'm a learner. I'm going to implement it. I'm going to share it to other people. This is good stuff.
Let's hear from Lauren.
Lauren jumped in the middle. I don't know what she's up to.
I jumped in the middle, but you know how I said earlier, sometimes you got to be still? Right now I'm being still. Trust me. I'll be back soon enough. But I'm at a calm.
Word.
No, but I'm listening. I came in at the end a little bit, so I apologize. It took me a while to get back on. But
That wasn't even
I'm
you.
actually
We were talking about this before, how, with everything that we were talking about, roadblocks and obstacles and struggles, and then all of a sudden the Hangout imploded. It just
right.
So we had to really get
I don't
back.
know what happened.
Nobody knows what happened. Google said we're shutting down in 5, 4, 3, boom, done.
But
we got the message.
Yeah,
We
I'm just kind of vibing off of you guys. I'm actually getting rejuvenated from you guys by just listening to you guys. I'm still right now. I'm gonna be honest. I'm being transparent at this point in time. I'm just kind of relaxed. I'm letting you guys replenish me, help replenish me, along with myself, and I'm allowing God to do His work. And trust me, I'm still making noise through it. You got to make noise through your storm. If you follow me on Facebook or anything, I'm still going to make noise. But yeah, I'm enjoying you guys. So you guys take it away today, tonight. Jermaine just dropped bombs. He dropped freaking World War V bombs, and it's not even no World War V.
Absolutely.
Appreciate that, Jermaine. I got to relook at this so I can get the rest of it.
Yeah, that link, I'm going to make it available. It's 2 parts to it. But we got some really good information. I don't know if anybody wants to add anything, but for the most part, I'm excited because all of this is really good stuff. And if anybody's feeling like any of these emotions, reach out to us and let's see if we can fix it. Let's see if we can grow from it. Because the only way I'm gonna get better at stuff is if I talk about it. If I exert and I speak what I usually don't speak. Because guys, like women talk. Guys don't. We go into our man caves. I learned this from a book, and they don't talk. We try to fix it, and if we don't fix it, we try to fix it again. So I'm learning to externalize and speak my mind. Trust me. And it's something. It's bad. It's really bad. Boys, men, gentlemen, if you're going through something, talk about it. Find somebody to talk about it too. Because if you,
I make Carl talk about it. Trust me, I make him talk about it. He tries to fix it, and here I am just running my mouth. He's like, and then I always ask him, "Am I talking too much?" I really don't care if he says yes, because I'm going to keep talking and making him talk. That's just how us women are. We're natural. We're it's in our nature. But another thing you want to make it be important is if somebody is telling you it's okay to reach out to you, and you feel the genuine vibe to say, okay, I think I can trust that person, go with that gut feeling. Because you could tell if somebody is good for you or not. I think we have that sixth sense to say, okay, I don't think I should or should. So we're giving you an open invitation to communicate with us. We're not telling you have to tell your whole life or anything like that, but if you're feeling any of those emotions, and it's not even on a business level, on a personal level, and we're open to it, please reach out to us, because that's what's wrong in my eyes with the world today. The world is so scared to talk that they're crying in silence. You don't want to cry in silence, because it's people out there that has their ears wide open waiting for you to talk. But you have to be accepting to being a little bit transparent. I had to learn that myself. I used to deal with anything that came my way by myself. But I learned to trust. That's like trusting God. You have to do it. It ain't no second guessing it. He's telling you to do it. But he also planted vessels on this earth so he can be there at all times, even in the physical. Some people aren't comfortable with going in it blinded, because it's hard to, like I said, that journey, you're walking it in a blind because you can't see him. So he plants vessels in life physically so you can see him. But you have to be accepting to it. You have to release. Trust me, if you build up, it's like a balloon. The more it blows up, you're eventually going to pop. That's not good when you pop. Trust me. All of us probably been there at one point in time in our lives in whatever situation. You have to release it out of you. You have to. Even if it's on a business level. If you're scared to make that business move, find somebody where you really feel the vibes and take that chance. Because you're never going to know, this is probably the oldest saying, you're never going to know what's on the other side until you go to the other side. You have to go to the other side. Because sometimes it may actually be greener on the other side. You don't know. Because you're playing it safe. Don't play it safe in life at all times. I'm a big risk taker in a way. I think I risk take about 60 to 75% of my life. But I don't regret none of it at all. Because if I didn't take those risks, I wouldn't be the woman I am today. If I withheld from taking those risks, I probably wouldn't be half of the woman I am today. You get that? Half of the woman I am today. And I know the power that I have at this moment. Sometimes I don't even know the power that I have. Carl has to remind me, a couple people have to remind me. But you have to find that releasement. You have to find that release pattern, and you have to take risks. Let go of those negativity vibes. I'm telling you, it will eat you alive. And I'm guaranteed it's probably 75% of people that take it to their grave in this world. They take all those emotions that builds up in life and they bury it with them in their grave. That's not a good feeling at all. You want to bury it right now before you make it to your grave. That's all I'm gonna say.
Powerful. That's wow. I just feel like with everything that we've spoken about, everything that you've heard, everything that Jermaine has shared, Lauren has shared, Alden, Ari, Latoya, you didn't get a chance to speak yet, RJ, myself, and even Devin, who was on earlier. It's all about how we perceive it and taking action steps. These action signals can help us take action steps to get to where we want to go. So I'm seeing red lights, green lights flash all over the place because I don't like red lights if I'm driving. I want green lights. So I'm going to take these signals and try to find a way to visualize what I want as an outcome. And if I'm feeling disappointed, why am I feeling disappointed? Is that really necessary? Did I really expect that to happen? Nah, expectation is nonsense. Let me internalize what I want to internalize out of it and create what I want to create out of it, and I feel so much better. Who says that you see, like, society gives us what they want us to perceive as good or bad or awesome, or Hannah Montana twerking on stage is amazing. No, that stuff ain't good. It's not. Negative things. I was talking about this today. We're in a business where we can bring profits to ourselves. We're doing things to better our situations, but all you see all over Facebook trending today is people lighting themselves on fire. That's what society perceives as cool. Meanwhile, all I see is cool is retiring my aunt. All I see is cool is seeing my sister just taking vacations whenever she wants to because Carl paid for it. Seeing my whole team win and buying mini islands in 5 years, owning them, stretching and thinking that way. Society wants us to feel a certain way. How do you perceive your lifestyle and your mindset and how you want to grow? All this information here is just take it and run with it, because I learned a great deal of nuggets. I'm excited because it brought me back to where I feel like, okay, I need to be up here. I need to focus on what I need to focus on and continue to grow. Just like everybody else. If you're not admitting that, oh man, I had a sad month, or I had a bad year, or I'm not doing as well as I wanted to, and you're lying to yourself, you're lying to yourself. It ain't even that you're telling other people. Because you can't put out like fake. You got to be real with you, and people respect you for that. So if you're feeling a certain way, and I had this young lady who commented on our Hangout. She's like, "You guys made me tear up." I don't know what we said on the first time. You guys made me tear up because I didn't realize that I was doing this to myself. I was smothering myself because I wasn't allowing myself to breathe, to actually understand that my mindset is detrimental. I need to reroute it, rewire it, change a few things, expose myself to new information, and being consistent with it. If you were broke your whole entire, I use this all the time. If you're broke your whole entire life, you had a bad mindset your whole entire life, and you expect to be rich in a month and a half of doing business online, you got life messed up. You got life messed up. But taking those positive steps to steer away from the roadside, to steer away from the traffic, to get into a clear path. You see that picture on my timeline, Elevated Minds, where the road is empty? That means so much to me. Because that road, that journey, it never, ever, ever ends. But it's so beautiful because there's no noise. There's nothing. It's just me and that road. I'm going to leave you guys with that. I don't know if anybody wanted to add anything.
That's so beautiful, man. You said it's just me and the road. It's just you and the journey. I think that if we learn to love the journey, we can never lose. Simple. It doesn't always have to be deep. I'm going to say it again.
You have to embrace
Exactly.
the whole ride. Embrace the journey. Embrace the struggles. The struggles are a part of it. Ari said this earlier. It's part of it. And RJ touched on that too. If there without struggle, there is no success. There is no triumph. You won't feel good if it didn't hurt.
Grateful.
If it didn't hurt. Like if you
won't
go
grateful
out
for nothing.
and you have a full plate of dinner and you feel great, that full plate of food didn't feel so as good if you had eaten a small snack before. But if you've been waiting all day, you've been waiting all day for that meal, and then you get there to that table, you tear that thing down, barbecue sauce all over your face, napkins, I don't want them, I'm hungry. when you that satisfying feeling, well, you went through a pain, a struggle, a situation where you're uncomfortable, but at the end of the day, you're sitting down and you've enjoyed what you look back and you're like, man, I've been waiting all day for this. I'm about to tear this plate up. These analogies, think about it. That's, again, visualization. When you don't understand something, try to piece together a certain thing that happened and picture it. Your mind works with pictures. Picture it. Picture it. Picture a beautiful lifestyle. And this is something that I learned too. Like, try to focus on happiness for 15 seconds. It's so hard. Positive thoughts for 15 seconds, no interruptions. Don't do it right now, but after this hangout, try it. 15 seconds. I think just because my mind is playing tricks on me, when I first tried it, 7 seconds into it, I saw a big monster. I'm like, dang! I'm trying to think of a happy beach house, and whoa, something comes in and it destroys it. That's what goes on in our days. We're going through happy emotions. We're feeling good, and then something comes along and it just like smacks it. Like, I'm trying to mess you up right now. You know that, right? Well, I know that, but do you know how mentally strong I am? I'm gonna battle you. I'm gonna whoop your butt, and I'm gonna win. I'm gonna win. I feel better. Like all this morning, I was like in a rut. I'm not gonna lie. I was feeling like, dude. Why? Because I allowed whatever was going on to penetrate me. I allowed what was going on to get the best of me. I thought about it too much. I started if this and that. I felt guilty, disappointed, not fear, but really frustrated. And then, really, is that necessary? Is it necessary? Or should I be grateful for what I have? Or should I be grateful for where I am, for the influence that I do have? For the people that are around me that I can just call on and say, hey, man, I just need to talk. What are we going to talk about? I don't know. Just talk to me. Because I can't my mind is going to drive me crazy. So if I can't find a certain calm within myself, I can go get that inspiration for something else and then motivate myself. Motivate yourself. It's yours. Independent business owner, if nobody calls you to do something, you got to pick your butt up and do it at the end of the day. But leveraging what we do have is also crucial too. Leveraging the pieces that you do have is absolutely crucial. I know where to get my certain happiness from. I know where to get my energy from. I know where to get my inspiration from. I know exactly where to go if I want to get mad. I know where I want to go if I need to find a peace. If you're doing yoga, like Ari said, you do it in moderation, but you do it every day. If you work out and try working out one muscle for 3 hours in one day. See what happens to your biceps. See if it don't blow up the next day. If you just you just stuck. You have to do it little by little by little. With pain comes progress. With progress comes that feeling of, okay, I went through the struggle. Now I made it. Now, like, I still don't know how to float. But guess what? I was in Miami and I learned the process of it. I started to learn the process of it. So I got my pool up here, and you should see me. I'm laying in that thing, starting to grow and get better at it. Struggled. I went from 0 to 40% to 60%, and I can't wait till I'm at 100 because It's all about growth. It's about striving to get better every step of the way. It's about those chess moves. We talk about chess moves all the time. Why are we not making these chess moves all the time? Mastermind sessions. Let's just talk about it. Make it happen. Manifesting things into our lives. Visualizing where we want to get to. What happened to the basics? Because the basics
if I can,
is what
Carl,
we want to get to.
a lot of what you guys have talked about without actually saying it comes down to mindfulness, right? You have to be aware of what your current thought pattern is. So I think Lauren touched on it a little bit. She was like, sometimes I just go be still and I see my thoughts. Well, you have to step aside for a second to see what am I thinking about? Yeah. Like the only time you can really be calm sometimes is when you detach your thoughts from your mind, if you can get that concept, right? Your thoughts run wild. Like your brain and your mind are two different things. Your brain makes your feet move and makes you talk and everything else, but your mind is who you are. So sometimes your mind has to step back and be like, what is my brain doing? Like what are all these different thoughts going through here that are making me feel this way? Because
Some atomic bombs, y'all.
yeah, I'm being real because it even ties into what Jermaine was saying. Because how could you possibly even examine where your thought process is, or why you're scared, or why you're fearful, or why you're frustrated? You wouldn't even be able to begin to do that if you didn't sit down for a second and be like, what's going on, right? So the reason, Carl, you were talking about why guys don't talk and stuff like that. You're not talking to yourself. If you're not talking to yourself and figuring out, hey, what's going on with me? How can you express that to somebody else? So I think mindfulness is huge. We talked about imagination. That's huge. You got to see it. If you can see it, you can and believe it, you can be it, right? I love how Jermaine has taken all these different emotions that when you add them all together are horrible and turn it into a positive. Why? Because it starts that internal dialogue. So when you can boost yourself back up for any emotion, if you're mindful, as soon as I have that one thought that maybe frustrates me, because I'm aware of it, you can immediately recognize it and replace it with a more constructive, positive thought. So I think if I take anything from this, man, it's definitely the consistency, definitely having your imagination, flipping everything into a positive. And if anybody doesn't think this is true, this is what I'm going to tell you, right? So we talk about all the time, and I want everybody who who doesn't believe in anything that we're saying to try this, right? You see and you attract and you get what you think about the most. I want you to decide right now that you love red Civics. And for the next 2 days, see how many red Civics you find driving around the highway. It works. It's the same thing with positivity, wealth, success, whatever you want. You guys talked a lot about the journey, right? So everybody knows my brand is Pursuit Infinite, right? Elevated Minds has the open road, Pursuit Infinite. There's always a next level. There's always somewhere else to go. Enjoy the ride. When I think about hard times and all that stuff, and this, I'm gonna share something real with you since we're being transparent. Any and every time I go through something real, and we call real is another word for the struggle, right? All I picture myself doing is standing on stage, talking to thousands of people, telling them that part of my story.
Wow.
That's going to inspire them. They're like, damn, you went through that? Yeah. And it's a lot worse than how I'm saying it right now. Yeah, it's real, right? So now you take that, whatever that negative is, and I think, Jermaine, you said it before, you make it a beautiful thing, right? So you see me on social media. I posted one time, and this post got so much love on Instagram. And all it said was, this part of my story is so real. Because it was a down time, but it was so real that it was going to make me appreciate it for what it is. That's all I got, you guys.
Wow.
I'm really loving this hangout. For those of you guys who are watching this is a special hangout because you get to be surrounded as if, we're sitting right next to you, as if you're on the panel with us. And sometimes we want to listen to those long drawn out audios and it make us feel good, and we don't want it to be over. We're here with you on this one. Everyone's bringing their own unique perspective, and everyone's helping you, coaching you through it. I think this is going to be one of those hangouts where you're feeling down, you might want to revisit this one, and part 1 and part 2, and just kind of pour yourself through it. We've given you enough ammunition to say, all right, I have the ammo, I have the weapons, all right, let's pick it up, it's time to fire, and go for it, guys. Shoot for your goals. If you don't have a target, you can't hit it, so go ahead and, in this situation right now, just in case you got too much information and not enough action steps, I want you to write however you're feeling right now. If you're not feeling too good, or even if you're feeling great, write the next step. Write okay, what do I want next? What do I want out of this situation? And don't make it far off into the future. Make it now. Who do I want to be now? What can I achieve now? And then write down some actions that you can take towards it. Doesn't even matter. All you need is one, and go do it. Do it immediately. Now. Don't wait. Now. If you know what? You can pause this hangout because you got enough nuggets. Go do it, guys. Go change your lives. And make yourself proud. And we can be proud of you too. We're here with you.
Wow. That was some powerful stuff. It's been 2 hours of just value, of just scenarios, of just lessons, of just
Real
nuggets that everybody, myself included, can apply to their lives, to their businesses, and grow from it. It's absolutely amazing to see how everybody thinks here. And if you're somebody who thinks like us, come on board, connect with us. We'll chop it up, we'll talk, and just know that it's beyond yourself. It's beyond myself. This is bigger than everything else. Because all of these principles, I wish I would have ran across this in middle school when I was being picked on, right? You wish you would have been going, you wish you would have learned some of these things in high school when you were angry all the time, right? You wish you knew it yesterday when you did something that you shouldn't have because you reacted to an emotion that was just fear. You reacted out of fear. And when you act on impulse negatively, it's never good. So recognize and be aware where you are. We're passionate about what we do. We love you guys. And next week is just going to be another powerful hangout. Wednesdays, 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern. Be here because we're just going to continue to deliver, continue to grow, and you're invited. Bring everybody who you think can learn from this stuff and tag them. Bring. I don't care what company. It doesn't matter. Just come. I don't care what business you're in. You need this information. You need this to progress. You need this to grow. You need this to change your mindset, change your life, and just continue to grow into a bigger, better person. Be better than you were yesterday. Be better than you were 2 seconds ago. Strive to be who you want to become. Everybody, like the person everybody needs to be around. That role model, that emblem. And if you're not at that leadership level yet, I'm watching one of my teammates do it right now. Derek Hunter. He's not on the hangout right now, but he's at work, and he's so hurt by it that he's like, he just hopped in. I was like, I just wanted to say hi, guys. I gotta go to work now, but I'm gonna be on these hangouts soon every Wednesday with you guys. And he's grown into a leader, and it's just beautiful to see. So connect with us. I wish everybody had an amazing night. I'm running like I'm on F. I'm filled up right now with energy. So as soon as this ends, we're just gonna chop it up, mastermind some more, but plug into what we're doing, get tuned in, and we'll see you guys later on in life. Salute.